behalf of the association, I want to thank everybody that has come out tonight to hear our speaker, Stevie Baggs, and to thank him as well for the donations of the Xenith helmets that are coming to the Hamilton Wentworth Panthers. Certainly, we are very, very, very excited about the donation that Stevie has provided for us. Certainly, the helmets are much needed to the association, but what it really does, it allows us to redirect some of our resources that we have to the Larry Penfold Fund. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Larry Penfold Fund, it was set up in honor of a past president who passed away back in 2006, and that allows us to provide financial assistance to anyone that comes to us in need that can't afford to play football. So certainly this has freed up quite a lot of resources for us, and certainly through the Stevie Baggs Foundation and Xenith and Marchand, it's certainly something that is going to help a lot of kids here in the Hamilton area. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to introduce you guys to Stevie Baggs, current Hamilton High Cap. Occasion, and we only like to give the microphone to Panthers. We're going to make Stevie an honorary Panther tonight. So
yeah, I like it. Feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I have to wake up. All right, well, if you're a Panther and you know it, clap your hands. If you're a Panther and you know it, clap your hands. If you're a Panther and you know it, and you really want to show that you're a Panther and you know it, clap your hands. Yeah. Obviously today we're here to talk about the donation, but more importantly, we're here to talk about the importance of this game we call football and the importance of concussions and the enlightenment behind both these important issues. So we all know that football is the greatest game in the world, in my humble opinion. If you feel the same way, say,
yeah.
Poetry to my ear. This game, this game of football teaches you discipline, sacrifice, teamwork, leadership, and it also builds character. Young people who participate in football are more likely to graduate from high school and less likely to develop obesity. In other words, playing football makes you a smarter, stronger, and healthier human being. I'm here on behalf of Sports Legacy Institute, the StevieBaggs Foundation, as well as Xenith, to inform you on concussions. When I was your age, guys, I didn't have this type of enlightenment. This was something that really wasn't visible to me as a young minor league football player, or Pop Warner football player, as we call it in the States. But we did have coaches, and we did have folks that cared about us enough to tell us about the importance of being a healthy football player, not just with what we put in our bodies, but how we play the game. For those of you that don't know, Sports Legacy Institute, or SLI, is a nonprofit based in the United States, started by a concussion expert by the name of Dr. Robert Cantu and Chris Nowinski, a former Harvard football player and a WWE wrestler. His wrestling name is called what? Chris Harvard, for those of you who follow WWE. Chris founded SLI and wants me to share this important message with you about how he had to retire from WWE because of concussions. But most importantly, he had to quit because he didn't know the right thing to do when he had a concussion. Today you will learn the right thing to do, and to begin, we first have to know what a concussion is. Raise your hand if you ever think you've had a concussion. Or carry the 5. Okay, that's most of the room. Well, I'm gonna give you guys the definition of concussion. Okay, a concussion is a brain injury caused by a bump, blow, or jolt to the head or body that causes short-lived symptoms, including headaches, dizziness, confusion, blurry vision, and the sensation of getting dinged or having your bell rung. Symptoms can last as short as a few seconds or as long as days, weeks, or even months. You don't have to be knocked out to have a concussion. And guys, you gotta know that, understand it. You don't have to be knocked out to have a concussion at all. With that definition, how many of you think that you've had a concussion? Okay, yeah, definitely, pretty much everybody in the room. I saw a few mothers too. Well, that was similar to my experience as well. I remember getting concussions when I was your age, and being a macho, aggressive young man, it's like not the macho thing to do. To hey, and coach, I'm dinged up, or tell one of your teammates, man, I can't see, I'm dizzy. But it's the responsible thing to do, because in essence, you're not only helping yourself as a player, you're helping your team, because if you're not at 100% full capacity, you can't be the football player that you're supposed to be, guys. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Concussion symptoms include, concussion symptoms. So what you need to know as a football player is that your brain inside your head is very fragile. It's the consistency of jello or custard. When you get hit in the head, your brain is injured and it can create a long list of problems. You might feel things like, once again, headaches, dizziness, dazed, dinged, seeing double or stars, flashing lights, ringing in your ears, sleepiness, upset stomach, confusion. Well, that's a lot. Some would call that stress, but it's also considered a concussion or symptom. Your coach, parent, or teammate might notice little things like poor coordination or balance, a blank stare or glassy eyes, slurred speech, vomiting, inappropriate emotions like anger or crying, and slow to answer certain questions. Why should you care about concussions? It used to be when a player got a concussion, he usually kept playing, like I said earlier. But that was not because we were tough, it was because we didn't know any better. You've heard of all the great athletes that have had to retire from concussions. Hockey players like Eric Lindros and Pat LaFontaine, or football players like Steve Young and Troy Aikman. Even Dave Dickinson, a guy who just passed. They retired because they had a lot of concussions, but that was only a part of it. However, the bigger reason they had to quit playing the sport that they loved and adored was because they didn't properly deal with the concussions that they had. Scientists have discovered when you get a concussion, you have what they call a window of vulnerability, where if you keep playing, you make the concussion much worse. The brain is injured, and like when you get an injured or injured ankle or knee or whatever, you have to give it time to heal. And that's the same exact thing when you're dealing with a concussion. Once again, come out of the game. You get a stinger. How many have had stingers? Similar deal. You got to come out of the game, guys. Come out. Don't make this thing worse, because you'll only prolong the symptoms. A concussion by itself, when properly rested, is usually not a big deal, and you will definitely get better a lot faster. However, if you don't take the time off, it can become, however, a very big deal. I know from experience that it's better to miss a game than to miss a whole entire season. I also need to tell you, although I'm not trying to scare you, football players have definitely died from having concussions and second impact syndrome, which can occur when you return too soon from a concussion and get hit in the head. What you should know about concussions, basically tell your coach and your parents if you think you've had a concussion. Don't keep this thing to yourself, guys. I'll tell you, as a pro, this is my 8th year playing pro football, and I've experienced concussions at your age. and in college. Not as much as a pro, because you try to learn how to play the game without using your head. You have to use your head, your brain, but you don't use your head to tackle. And that's the main objective that you guys have to understand. Tell your coach if you think your teammate has had a concussion. Don't think you're like, being, what they call a snitch, because you think a guy right next to you had a concussion. This guy can not only make or help your team lose a game because he's not at full capacity once again, but he can hurt himself. And so you don't want that on your conscience. If one of your teammates has a concussion, or if you suspect that, please tell your coaches. Be honest, guys, about your symptoms. We all know ourselves. You know if you're not feeling at full capacity. So please be honest with yourself and just evaluate your situation individually. Don't give your teammates a hard time about sitting out with concussions. That's not cool at all. I mean, you guys really have to understand, we all as football players are brothers. Even guys that have played long before us, even the guys that are coming after you guys. We're all brothers, and we're warriors. And so together, we have to make sure we have one another's back. Okay? Please don't return unless a medical expert with experience in concussion management gives you the green light. That's very big, because once again, if you return too early, second impact syndrome, you're done. You're done. It's better to miss a game, guys, than to miss a whole season. Speak directly to coaches and parents once again. There are many positive steps that coaches and parents, guys, can take and can make to provide a safer environment at no cost and little time invested. We recommend SLI's 7-step brain safety program, which includes preseason education for coaches, the same education for the athletes, as well as the parents. That's 3. Coaches use CDC heads-up clipboard stickers, adopt the CDC's concussion action plan for removal and return to play, prevention through neck strengthening exercises, and prevention through overall brain trauma reduction. So that's the 7 steps that we will definitely have available to all parents and coaches. Studies show that high school players receive up to 1,800 hits in the head over in the head. So it's 18,000 hits to the head at over 20 G's of force per season. That's a lot. 3 out of 4 of those hits, 75%, happen in practice. You guys practice a lot more physical than we do as pros, but that's a lot of wear and tear on the body and on the head. So you guys have to be extremely careful in practice, not just in the game. Oklahoma drills, the bull in the ring drills, British bulldog, these are all things that we've all done. But it can get you on the team and get everybody hyped up for a big hit, but it can also really damage you and make you get a concussion. Once again, there's nothing wrong with playing physical, nothing wrong with approaching the game with the aggression that you have to on the field. But please, please, pay attention to what your coaches and parents and doctors and what we're telling you about the importance of concussions. When you talk about the Xenith helmet, I firmly believe that Xenith head protection is superior to any other helmet on the market. Not only because I wear it as a pro, but I've experienced the new technology and done my research on this product. Once again, I told you, I played this game of football for 8 years as a pro, but 22 overall. And so I started playing football at the age of 7. 7 years old, contact football. So I've been through a few helmets, to say the least. But Xenith has an adaptive fit system that provides a comfortable fit and assures that the helmet will stay on the athlete's head. So if you look at this helmet, you can come demonstrate, and I hold it up. And if you look at this helmet, if I want to tighten it up to my specific, I can just pull it here, and then I can clip it on to tighten it up. So it's adapted to your personal head, okay? And the inside, if you look at the inside of this helmet, this is soft because on impact, all the force disperses throughout the helmet. So your brain is not going to feel this impact as much as you would in other brands of helmets. Data from the lab and the field, along with numerous testimonials from players, attest to the effectiveness of Xenith's approach to head protection. Xenith was a company founded specifically to address concussions or the concussion epidemic. They consistently work to refine and improve all aspects of helmets. Xenith does not only care about football players. They're doing research on hockey helmets. They're doing research on baseball helmets. We want to enlighten every warrior that's an athlete, because we understand the importance of longevity beyond the game. Because we understand at Xenith that playing football is greater than the game. And that's really what it's all about. Well, my father, mother, family taught me in life that when you get knocked down, when you're in a valley, the most important thing is to get back up. And that's the same thing. If you're at a high or at a low, no matter what, guys, you have to get back up. No matter what. You just won a game, guess what? You got to come back and do it again. You just lost, you got to dust it off and move forward to go win again. So that's the same approach that I want you guys to take in this concussion matter, or in this helmet matter, in any matter in life. No matter win, lose, or draw, you're in a valley, you're at a mountain, dust it off and keep moving forward. Don't be afraid to give back knowledge to someone else that's sharing it with you, because that's what happened. Right now, someone gave me knowledge when I was your age and coming up, and the same thing is happening now to you guys. I had a pro football player come talk to me. I was blessed and fortunate. Not everyone had that. So that vision gave me a vision to say, you know what? When I come back, I'm going to do the same thing. So on behalf of Xenith, we want to present the Hamilton Panther Football Club with helmets for the whole entire year. They're all yours. Thank you. I'm here with my representation, Tim Fleiser, who's a 4-time Grey Cup champion. He and I, we have concussion cards over here, so if you would, please stick around, and we'll definitely sign these cards for you guys. Parents, please take a close look at these cards, and coaches as well. And thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Again, I just want to thank Stevie for coming in and imparting those great words of wisdom to a lot of the players that we see here. I know you hear it a lot from a couple of us old, decrepit coaches, but hearing it from someone like Stevie, hopefully it gets the message across that much better. And certainly, these helmets are going to come to great use. As Vice President of the Association, we're going to pride ourselves on making sure that we get the best equipment for all the players in our association, and make sure that we are putting across all the good information that Stevie has provided for us, and make sure that we're going to reduce the amount of concussions that occur within football. So once again, I'd like to thank Stevie. And of course, this wasn't all done with just a couple of people here. There was quite a lot from the organizational point that has worked hard to put this together. Certainly all of our board members were involved in this, but in particular I want to thank George Stratinovich, our equipment manager, and who really made this happen along with Sam Preston, our PR director. And as well, we'd like to thank two other people. We'd like to thank Tim Fleischer from Xenith Sports Equipment, and well, we'd also like to thank Paul Bowman from Marchant School Sports Equipment for helping set this up. Just one more thing. And again, just because you guys are going to be talking to Tim and Paul about these helmets and getting some more information, again, like we say, really can't speak at a Panther event unless you're a Panther. So I'd like to ask Tim and Paul to come up and receive their honorary Panther. And just before we end up, Stevie's got one more thing to add.
The last thing I want to say that now that you guys are wearing Xenith helmets, you are most definitely an enlightened warrior. So just take that with you everywhere you go. You're an enlightened warrior. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I know that there's some Panther varsity kids here, and I think there was a cheer that we tended to do at the beginning and end of every game. So can I hear our Panther cheer one time, please, for everybody? Somebody want to start it up? Go ahead, Bus.
All right, boys, start jumping! Do it! Deep in the heart of football jungle, you can hear the Panthers rumble. Hoop! Ha! Go Panthers! Hoop! Ha! Go Panthers! Deep in the heart of football jungle, you can hear the Panthers rumble. Hoop! Ha! Go Panthers! Hoop! Ha! Go Panthers! Hoop!
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks again, everybody. Stevie's going to be up front here signing the concussion cards. And again, both Paul and Tim are here if you have any questions on the